Isabel, what changes now that we have seen this end of the emergency in 6 prefectures?
Right, so the emergency was declared in January and it entailed having bars and restaurants basically closed at 8 p.m. So residents of those 10 areas under the emergency were also urged to work from home as far as possible and to avoid unnecessary outings. So there was no official curfew. There was no fines on individuals, but these measures have been quite effective. So the national cases went down from daily cases from 8,000 in early January to somewhere around 1,000, 1,200 at present. But they've also been quite devastating for a lot of retail and restaurant businesses. For Tokyo, the current scheduled end date is March the 7th. But there has been a slightly sort of worrying tailing off in the fall in cases. So it's quite likely that indeed the emergency will be extended beyond March the 7th in Tokyo and the surrounding areas.
Isabel, what's the latest that we're hearing for the Tokyo Olympics? Because we could actually start to see the arrival of some athletes really soon.
Right, yes. So there has been a report in the last few days that Japan will allow foreign athletes to enter the country as soon as the emergency is over, which, as I just said, we're not quite sure exactly when that will be. But they have said that they're not going to require vaccinations, and they're not even going to require quarantine. So this is an issue that might be quite unpopular with the public. We have to wait and see how that goes down with the general public, who have been quite cautious about holding the Olympics this year. In any case, we've seen polls that have shown 80% of the public do not want to see the Olympics held this year. But the organisers seem determined to hold it, and the plans for the torch relay have started to be put in place. The big question remains whether they will allow foreign spectators to come in from overseas, because that's obviously something that could be quite risky in health terms, given that vaccinations have only just started in Japan and won't have got very far by the time the Olympics start on July the 23rd.